So you waited too long, Seiko is no longer producing the SKX, you've decided you want one, but what do you get? Do you get the SKX009 or the SKX007? Do you do it on a bracelet? Do you do it on a leather? Do you do the K model or do you do the J model? Or do you just buy their replacement that they have now? I'm here to help. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Wristwatch Addiction, my dumb little wristwatch channel. I'm Paul. Thank you for stopping by. What do you buy? Do you buy the SKX007K? Do you buy the 009J? Do you buy the new Seiko that's replacing these? Let's flip the camera and get right into it. Alright guys, so as you can see, I've got a number of things laid out here in front of us. This is not going to be a full-on review of the SKX007 or the SKX009, as I've done those before, and you can find those elsewhere. This is going to be an assumption that you've already decided you don't want the new Seiko 5 dive model, you want an SKX. Which one to get, which model, the K, the J. What do you want to get it on? Do you want it on a bracelet? Do you want it on leather? Do you want it on rubber? And once you do get it, what are your options as far as customizing it for yourself? That sort of thing. So that's what this is going to be. I hope you guys will stick around for it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I wanted to do this because these are two of my favorite watches. Watches I never intended on owning. I got sent one, tried it on, fell in love with it, ended up trading a watch for the other one. I'm actually going to put it on a bond later, which is going to trigger a lot of purists. I like doing that. I like triggering purists in the watch community. So let's just start with the 007 and take a little bit of closer look at it and talk about what it is. So these watches were discontinued in early 2018, although they were done quietly with no official information coming from Seiko until late 2019 when Seiko officially discontinued them. So they're becoming more difficult to get, and prices are going up. This one, an earlier model, although I don't know exactly how old, the Seiko SKX line was first produced in 1996. The movement within it, the SKX09 and the SKX07, is a caliber 7S26 automatic movement. It was also introduced in 1996. It's a non-hand windable, non-hacking movement, which means you have to wear this watch to power it. You can't shake it, or you can shake it, but you can't hand wind it. You can't stop the second hand once it begins moving, so you can't hack it. It's 21 joules, 21,600 beats per hour, bidirectional winding, which is really good considering you cannot hand wind it. There is a huge modding community for these watches, guys, and the NH36A swaps are pretty big. They go right into the SKX. You do have to modify the stem, the crown placement to get them to work, but aside from that, they go right in and you have a hand winding hacking movement. Beautiful watches. The only real difference between the SKX07 on my left and the SKX09 on my right is the fact that they have different bezels. The SKX07 has a black bezel. The SKX09 has your blue and red bezel. The first 20-minute ticks in red for better viewing underwater, although after 15 meters or so, everything turns gray anyway. The backs on the earlier model SKX versus the later model SKX, you can see a little more satiny finish on the earlier 07, a little more polished on the 09. That's due more to the age of the product than it is the actual differences. The sides are exactly the same, polished sides with your crown at the 4 o'clock position, which is kind of weird for the SKX 07 and 09 series. Is some people like that, some people do not like that. I personally like it, although before I owned them I did not. You can see the dials are different. The SKX 07 and SKX 09 dials are the same, but the K model on the left and the J model on the right are different. The Japanese model on the right, you can see added text down below the 200 meters, guys. And then also at the bottom, the made in Japan, sort of reminiscent of the Swiss made that's so famous, and probably why they did that. You know, I mentioned the modding community. These bezels are replaceable. The inserts are interchangeable. So if you get an SKX 07 or SKX 09, you can actually get the corresponding alternate bezel insert, and you have both. So it's not something that you necessarily have to choose either or. You can just choose one. The next thing to choose is what to wear it on, what to purchase it on. The SKX 07 and SKX 09 are available on the stock SKX bracelet that you see here. This is an open in-link bracelet, guys. This is the Jubilee. I like it. It's a little rattly. It's a little quirky, I guess is the word. You can get them on both of these watches. They look fantastic on both of these watches. It is also available on a different bracelet, a bracelet that's more of a oyster sort of style. I actually like the Jubilee better. It was the more popular of the two. I think it looks fantastic. Really dresses up the SKX 07, dresses up the SKX 09. It is a little flimsy feeling once you put it on the watch head. The open end link doesn't really feel any different than the solid end link. But the rubber bracelet we're going to talk about now, the rubber looks fantastic, feels kind of awful, if I'm being honest. I like the rubber. If I had an SKX, again, I would still purchase the rubber, but it's very stiff. I don't know if it'll ever loosen up, and because I hardly ever wear it, I sort of doubt I'll ever know for sure. But it looks really good on this dive watch. It gives it this real dive watch flair that the Jubilee bracelet simply does not give the watch. Funny enough about this rubber strap, this is the same rubber strap that was used on the Zissou dialed Vostok worn by Steve Zissou in the movie The Aquatic Life with Steve Zissou. So it's kind of interesting that Bill Murray was given a Seiko strap to put on his Vostok watch for that movie, but that's actually what it is. It's a Seiko strap on the Vostok, and for that reason I love this strap. If I ever get another Vostok, that's where this strap is going to go. It's going to go on the Zissou dial Vostok if I ever get another one. But let's look at some more of these guys. Changing up to the SKX 09, which I absolutely had to have once I got the 07. I was wearing the 07 on a leather strap at work. A guy with an SKX 09 on a Jubilee came in, and I was selling him a Omega, but quite frankly, I couldn't stop looking at the SKX 09. I think it's a fantastic watch. It looks fantastic on the Jubilee. Had to get it. This watch on this kind of tan, kind of khaki strap, this NATO, I think looks absolutely fantastic. And if you watch the Urban Gentry, because you watch the Urban Gentry, or in spite of the fact you've watched the Urban Gentry, I still think the NATOs look great on the SKX, and I still think the SKX is a fantastic watch. Definitely requires a little patience as far as like getting used to straps that are NATOs if you're not used to NATOs. I first tried a NATO and did not like it because of the way it sets the watch up a little higher, but in turn it protects the watch, it protects your wrist. I actually really like the NATO, including this Cincy strap NATO here, which is a little darker, sort of tones down the look. I definitely recommend NATOs, guys, and I'll put links in the description for all these straps, or at least the ones that are available via my links. On the wrist, you can see that dark color really changes the look of the SKX07, which is kind of the reason I did this video. If you've already decided you're going to get an SKX, but you don't know if you're going to get an 09 or an 07, and you don't know if you're going to get the K or the J dial, I thought this might help. Putting it on different straps, I kind of thought that would be a good idea to help you decide. Leather straps on an SKX look fantastic. Leather straps on a dive watch look fantastic. I know it's sort of a point of contention for purists of dive watches. It's a dive watch. You can't dive with leather. What are you doing? Let's be honest, guys. Most people that have a dive watch are never even going to take it swimming. So the leather is fine. Having said that, if you are going to take it swimming, take it in the shower, take it diving, don't put it on a leather, don't put it on a bond, don't put it on everything that's going to be ruined with just a little water. Put it on a bracelet, put it on a rubber, put it on a NATO. But you know, we mentioned you're going to get an SKX, you're not going to get the Seiko 5, but I'm going to touch on the Seiko 5 for a second because they are actually very good watches. If you decide you want one of these guys, I don't think it's a bad choice. And the new Seiko 5 divers have a couple of issues. One of the big glaring issues is the lack of the 200 meter ISO certification. These are not 200 meters certified. Having said that, they have an upgraded hand windable movement, which is very nice. They have improved bracelets, as you can see as we scroll through. Upgraded straps. This went on a very nice NATO. And while when the SKX was out and very popular, we really didn't think about it. It's super nice to have all these color choices. These are the caliber 4R36 movement, 10 bar, which again is a little different, but again, it's not terrible. It's not the same ISO 200 meter. This bracelet is a huge improvement over the former bracelets at $295. It's not bad. 21,600 vibrations per minute. 24 joule, guys. This is a 42.5 millimeter, very similar to the SKX. And by the way, the SKX was available in the SKX013, which was a smaller case for smaller wrists. So if you did want that options, the SKX did have a smaller option out there. That black and orange is so cool. The PVD black is so cool. I can see where you would take something over these two in the new Seiko 5. For me, I'm probably still going to get one of the Seiko 5s, maybe 2 or 3, but I do think these hold a place in most collections, if nothing else for the 1996 through 2018 history that they held. And I'll let you guys be the judge on their icon status that they've accrued. But I will say this, most people say the J series has better QC. My J series day wheel is misaligned. My K series is perfectly aligned. So take that comment with a grain of salt, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this. Hope it's been helpful. Like, subscribe, definitely comment, definitely stay tuned for more, and we'll see you soon.